notice it went to the next step. So we are going to go in using our plus or minus, and we are going to skip all the way down through the pattern. Sometimes I just go backwards because it's faster, to where it has the Harrison name. Oh, it did it individual this time, but that's okay. I am going to take, actually, oh. I'm going to show you my next trick. I just cycled through Harrison's name, and I'm back to the circle. I am going to take my bosal, which comes in squares, pre-cut already. I'm going to put that on my circle, and I am going to let that stitch down. All right? I am using what I call the tack and trim method. And I'll tell you why I'm doing that. Although it gives you the template and you can line it up, I had a little bit of difficulty even using the Kimberbell tape that it moved off. So I find that by doing the tack and trim, I get a much more secure. Okay, Deb, while I trim this, you want to talk to them about the bosal squares?
Sure can. A couple of products. One, Kathleen was talking about the bosal squares. And the nice thing about the bosal squares is you're not dealing with this 36-inch piece of bosal that just kind of flops all over the place. You've got the square the size you need, and it just makes it easy. And I mean, sometimes convenience is just the greatest thing. And while we're talking about bosal, Kathleen did try it also on the ultra soft fusible, but she was using the heavyweight, and it was too heavy, we thought, and that's what caused the problem. Now, I went ahead and an ornament that I'll be showing you in a little bit, I used the ultra soft fusible, and I used it on the front, I used it on the back. It gave it such nice weight, not too much, not too little, but it is nice and stiff. And are you ready there, Kathleen?
I'm ready. So okay. What I have done is I ironed my fabric to give it a little bit of stiffness, and I have trimmed my bosal on the ring, and I am placing my fabric, and I'm going back and reusing that tacked on strip. Okay, so notice my design has already skipped to the next one, so I want to go back. I'm going back, and I'm going to tack this down. And that is just going to give me a nice solid surface to embroider whosever name it is that you're going to put on the back. You know, if you're going to put Officer Jennings or Captain Smith, or, you know, I'm thinking about if you're making them for the entire fire department. Now I'm going to switch my to the white thread. Where is the white thread?
Barbara, the pre-cuts are 6-inch squares.
Yes, the pre-cuts are 6-inch squares.
There's a small white one.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna change out the thread, and while I'm doing that, I am going to go back. I'm using that plus or minus feature that's at the bottom of your screen. Now this comes on many of the baby locks, as well as the brothers. I know some of you say, oh, well, I don't have a Solaris. Well, you can definitely make this project on other machines. And if you notice, I'm going back. It's giving me each of the years. And now I have to go back to get Harrison's name. And remember, that's automatically centered for me. So I'm going to stitch the name out. You know, one of the most fun parts of being at American Quilt Week was I was able to use, each of the classrooms was set up with different machines. So I used many, many different machines, and I was very happy to come home to my baby locks. I got to see what the latest is in other machine lines and what they're doing. Now notice, even though it shows as an individual letter, they are all linked together. And so it's continually stitching. And we are going to let this back sit aside, because this is going to be the back of our ornament. And we are going to let this sit. We're going to set it aside as soon as it's done. And these take you no more than 25 minutes. I know it says 70, but that's because I think I ran the system twice, and I think I put 2 designs.
It's on there, yeah. 29 minutes, you'll be done. You're 2 minutes in.
Right. And I wanted you to see the difference between all caps in the satin stitch and then upper and lower. And it's all in what you want. They both take about the same amount of time, about the same amount of thread. You will need at one point in time to wind a thread bobbin that matches your outer ring, because you want the bottom thread to match that top thread to give you that nice, beautiful satin stitch going all the way around. This one, I did not use the wash away. I used the cutaway, and I feel that the wash away is the way to go. You'll get a nice even edge. You'll see that beautiful ribbed satin edge. So this is just one of my tricks, making a custom back and using the tack and trim method.
So Kathleen, you were away when Love to Stitch.
Well, I was able to meet them.
Were you?
Yes,
okay.
yes, I met them last Thursday. Boy, weren't they fun people?
Well,
so talented.
The Love to Sew. I started one of the little purses this weekend.
In the Christmas in a Hurry?
Christmas in a Hurry, too.
Nice.
And as much as I love to Stitch, I've got to be honest with you, Gloria blew it out of the park on the kits. I mean, everything, there's velvet, it just sparkles. She just did such a nice job. The whole thing was just a lot of fun.
Well, that was the other thing about being at Quilt Week. You know, many people were selling quilt kits, and I have to touch the fabric.
Yeah,
I know that's hard for you out there in TV land, but and now it's going to go into the year. So we're just going to hit our green light. Yes, go. Oh, it's silly me. I'm sorry. I'm not getting used to all my machines. But, Gloria has such an eye, because she purchases all the fabrics and then she lets us put them together into kits.
Right.
So her eye for the fabrics are just wonderful.
And before we came over, I'll get the thread out of your hair if you look at me.
Okay.
Just before we came over, we were looking at a kit for the fall event.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about the fall event.
Yeah,
yes.
Just one thing after another. And there's a sew-out, and then we all throw in our ideas, and and by the time something's done, it's just all of these events. They're a lot of work, and
people are going to learn a lot. Yeah. But after having taken 5 classes myself, I really appreciate a good educator, and we will have adequate staff there to help you with your machine. If you've never used a baby lock, we'll be teaching you how. If you've never used some of the other machines that we'll have there, it's going to be exciting. And that was refreshing for me to see how because I was with every brand, and how other brand educators and other brand ambassadors explain their products. I think I'm actually liking this with the upper and lower a little better.
I think I like it better. Yeah, it's more.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, give me the good one. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, because it
delineates.
Yeah, it delineates it a little better. Like this one, Harrison, is in your face. That one, it's like, okay, that's his name, Harrison. Yeah. So and this is just going to take a minute, and then I'm going to show you some more tricks. Second hoop. Now, if you did not have 2 hoops, you could, after this item is done with the 2024, you could just take it out because you're done with that, and we'll talk about preparing it to sew it on the back when we get to that point.
And they always say with the hoop, you want to stay as close to the size of the project that you're stitching out as possible.
Okay, so the project thinks I'm done. All right, so it has gone back to the start because remember, we added Harrison 2024 and that added it at the end of our sequence. All right, so I'm going to go back in here and I am going to do another placement stitch directly on my wash away aqua mesh. And why am I doing that? Because I want this to line up beautifully. And then I'm going to stop it. Let me tell you why. I'm cutting the thread because I don't need a double tack on my aqua mesh. All right. I am now going to place the bezel square. I'm going to make sure that it is, you all know I have bad eyesight, so I'm going to make sure that it is covering the top and bottom on each side. Now I'm going to go back and let it finish that. And you're going to see why I'm stopping and overriding the system again. Nope, I didn't stop it enough. So that's okay. We're going to bring up my plus or minus check mark. We're going to go back. We're going to let him do a circle. The snips. I got him. I like to have all my threads right there so that I don't get confused. All right, now this is where the directions told you to either use the bezel or 2 squares pre-cut. But I, again, am doing the tack and trim. Why? Because I found that when I pre-cut, based on the template, she does give you a template paper that even though I followed the directions and taped it down, this bezel is a little fat. And if your needle is the least bit loose or your embroidery foot is the least bit loose, it is going to throw it off. And the embroidery on these ornaments is just so beautiful. And I know you are going to make them for everybody, all of the policemen and firemen in your family. So we're going to put this back on. And this time we are going to layer our fabric. I just used this. You can see this fabric. It's a nice white, but it has a white on white little tinge because, you know, here at Gloria, we like something not just solids. We like it to have a little bit of dimension. If I had not found this, I probably would have gone to the flax. So I'm going again. It's defaulting back to the next step. I'm pushing that arrow back, and here we go. We are going to let it sew out, and we want to make sure if you are a person that likes to do heavy tape, be my guest. But this fabric, because I ironed it, maybe if I hadn't ironed it, I would have taped it down, but I ironed it. So I have it nice and ready, and we don't want to trim this here, okay? Do you see this? I'm holding, we don't want to trim that. Now, it's time for a thread change. We're going to red because as you can see on the screen, on your machine, it's going to stitch the center emblem of the navy. All right, and that's just a few minutes. That's all of 7 minutes.
Barbara, we're showing it on live. I'm not sure why you're having trouble, but we are showing that it is live on YouTube right now.
It's giving me a nice secure tack on. Somebody said to me, do you use the thread cap? Yes, I do, because I like mine to be nice and secure, and I like to see my pretty machine. Okay, so it's doing a nice edge stitch. It's going to go all the way around, and it's going to be covered by the cover stitch, so don't be afraid. But can't you just see this for the fire department?
Oh, I think it's very nice.
Did you use any topping?
On this, no. Even though that's the bosal, I wanted to give me that little bit of dimensional piece, and it's not falling in. I have this up close for you to see. The Boo Boo one was 2 layers of heavy-duty fleece, and I feel it's kind of flat. I feel the bosal gives it enough definition, but if you only have fleece, 2 layers, I actually thought about doing cork on the back. You know, Tiffany has some beautiful corks. I actually thought of that. If you were doing it as a coaster, you could, and you weren't putting any sort of decoration, you know, on the back, you could use even some of our faux leathers. Our faux leathers would make it a little more waterproof for your, if you're making them as coasters and not as ornaments. The faux leather, because there would be no stitching other than the edge stitch, it would make it a little more protective to your tablewares and your tables and so forth. But this is nice and flat, that if you're making them as a coaster, it's not going to, you're not going to be worried about spilling your coffee or your tea or your cocktail, unless it's in a martini glass. But I wouldn't call these martini coasters.
Probably not. No.
They have
no.
bubbles on them.
Yeah.
But you can see the difference between the bosal, and that's 2 layers of bosal, one on the top and one on the bottom, and or 2 layers of the fusible fleece. And I can pull this back so you can see. I had pre-cut the circles like the directions call for, and they shifted. So I was not happy about the pre-cuts. That's why I feel that a tack and trim technique is better. While I'm waiting for that to stitch out, I'm going over here. I'm removing Harrison from the frame. I'm just going to trim away, because we won't need it on that back. I'm going to trim away the aqua wash away, the wash away stabilizer. So I'm just giving it a little haircut. I folded down the back fabric. I don't know if you can see that. I folded down the back fabric, and I'm just trimming away up to that where we did that nice heavy tacked on stitch. And I will show you, if you're not choosing to personalize the back, I will show you how the directions say to finish the back. But I find that my tack and trim technique gives you a perfect lineup, because we want that beautiful satin edge stitch to show through. Now people say, oh, what do you do with your extra aqua wash away? We've had some customers in the shop where they will take this excess piece that I'm trimming off, Deb, maybe you could trim this up a little finer along there because of my eyes. But we have customers that'll take this extra piece of wash away. They will cut it into small strips, put it into a spritz bottle, let it dissolve, and it makes almost a nice little starch. We've had some customers that talk about making their own starch out of that. All right, so here we are. We are done with the red. Now it's time to go to the blue anchors. I've not yet changed my bobbin. I still have it on white because no one's going to see that. Okay, so I am not changed my bobbin, but I'm changing my top thread. that was also a eye-opener for me. I forgot how many other brands of machines you cannot. I'm going to turn this on, okay, and we're going to be doing the anchors. How many other brands that you cannot? Yeah, I did tell it to thread that. No, I didn't. That Deb has good eyes. That's okay. You wouldn't believe how many machines I jammed while I was at while I was at Quilt Week, because I'm so used to my baby locks and my brothers and I didn't sew on either of them. There we go. Now we'll be fine. Okay. Did not change that bobbin. But how many machines that you can't wind your bobbin while you're sewing? You know, if I didn't have that blue ready, I would be loading and winding my blue to match the back for when we do this beautiful satin stitch. And this is one of the longer stitch outs. But you're going to see this is going to make a lovely ornament. I'm getting ready for the black. Any questions, Deb, while we're waiting?
Not so far.
Did he have that trimmed up?
Mm-hmm. It's right there.
Oh, here it is. Okay, good. Sometimes I iron it when I'm waiting for the machine to stitch out. I'll give Harrison a little iron just to make sure that he's nice and adhered there.
Someone came in late, and what we're doing today is Claudia Creations has service ornaments. Well, they're actually coasters, and Kathleen thought of a way to turn them into ornaments. So Kathleen's giving you some tips and tricks on how to do that.
I'm sorry. So while we're waiting, I want to talk about rotary blade safety. It is very important that you have a nice sharp blade on your rotary blade. And somebody said, oh, I never do them. Treat your rotary blade almost like you treat your needles on your machine. If you're doing a big project, or you're going to cut a quilt, or you're going to cut like when we cut the Christmas in a Hurry kits, we all put in brand new blades because it's so important. And the gal that was next to me that cut her finger and had to go by ambulance to get it stitched up, she was using a dull blade because she said she's afraid of a sharp blade. And that's like the worst thing, because it skipped and just went right into her hand. You know, they do sell Kevlar gloves, so if you are having some mobility issues, you might want to think about getting the Kevlar gloves. We don't have them here, but I'm sure you can find them on Amazon, because it was really serious, you know, for them to take her in an ambulance because they couldn't get the bleeding to stop. And she wasn't even on any blood thinner. She was a young girl.
I had seen on Facebook another live where they're using the handles, the gypsy. What are those called? The gypsy, the big.
Oh, the roller handles. Yeah, I believe in them. Yeah,
and they said the good thing about that is it does give you a lot of pressure, but it keeps your hands out of the way.
True.
And I know I've heard Gloria say a number of times, the rule, is it the creative grids that she likes, the yellow rulers?
Yes.
Because they have a little bit of stick on the back. And
right.
I have a couple that I would have gotten way back when I first started to sew. And they have nothing on the back, and they slip. So,
well, we also learned the blue painter's tape.
Okay.
The blue painter's tape has a texture to it. And so I was taking a piecing class, and so we made our own templates out of that plastic, and we put the blue tape on the back to give it some stability. Yeah. I had never used the blue tape. I'm all about the Kimberbell tape, and we'll be getting to that shortly.
Dory's saying she uses wash away thread and stitch some of my wash away stabilizer together. Good idea.
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, that's a really good idea. I never thought about that. That's a great idea. Now, when piecing thin quilting fabric, Ruth Ann gave me the trick the other day. She doesn't use her zigzag. She uses that one it's a zigzag, but it's in 3 pieces because it gives it a little extra stitch in the middle, and then it will be more stable. So if you're joining batting, okay, we're done with the initial blue. And
Hey, Kathleen, our mistake. We said it's the Quilter Select rulers that are yellow. We said Creative Grid, so it's Quilter Select.
oh, okay, good.
My mistake.
Okay.
Thank you. And when we do appreciate your coming back, because we don't want to, give out the wrong information.
All right. And we're stitching out the black, so that will be the United States Navy, an inner circle, and making those anchors look like anchors. And we appreciate you staying with us because we want you to learn the rest of the tricks on this sew out. And Claudia does provide a page for each of the armed forces, and it tells you step by step when to get ready to change the top and bobbin thread, etc., and how to add the backing. Someone asked, were all the award winners American? There were a lot of quilts from Asia that was a top award winner. There were one from Ukraine, and they give awards in different categories. They give awards for stationary machines, movable machines. Like this is considered a domestic stationary machine because the head of the machine does not move. Whereas a long arm or any of the chassis where the head moves and the fabric stays steady, that is considered a movable machine. Yeah, we have just a little bit more to go here.
We're 11 minutes into the stitch out. Doing well.
But you can see we don't really need a topper because it's not sinking into the fabric or the bosal, but the bosal is giving it enough that I wouldn't call it trapundo, but I would call it like a little mini pop.
It's giving it a lift, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, a little mini pop.
And I think the bosal's giving it a nicer lift than the heavyweight stabilizer.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It just ripples just the tiniest bit.
Yeah, this is with the
yeah,
and it just
see this one's not.
Yeah, this one is. It gives it a better secure to it. It feels good, even though that was fusible. And so they had a vendor market with lots of people selling, machines and accessories and everything under the sun. And there was only maybe 1 or 2 things that we don't have in the store.
This place is amazing.
I had to come
Kathleen,
back.
You were gone for a week, and it's like, whoa, what all happened here? And
what came in? It's always fun to talk to the guys not working down in shipping, and Sarah's back in shipping. So, all right, now it's going to give us those nice crisp letters. And that's the other thing is, you know, the digitizing on these letters, you know, is just lovely, done so well.
So when they say that something's like a 30-minute stitch out, this one says actually 31.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's total straight running time. It doesn't allow for you to change your hoop. So when I
Correct.
see something like that, I usually add another 15 or 20 minutes to it
Mm-hmm.
just to give me an idea of what I can get done before I move on to something else.
Right. And how fast you're able to change your thread. You know,
Yeah.
some of us are quicker than others, and some of us are not, you know. Um, and because I took many piecing classes, I was trying to power sew. It's good that to work here at Gloria's because we power sew when we're getting ready for a show, meaning we just put the pedal to the metal, and I was able to get a lot of my piecing projects done on the same machine. Now there are a little bit of jump stitches there that we'll probably want to trim up, um, but it's not horrible. Like if you have limited mobility, or and we still go back and push our snips. These are not the variegated ones, but they're the Fomori snips. Um,
We actually have the variegated femoris here.
oh, good.
So Tommy's going to put those up in the bubble for us. I know you're used to seeing
Because
these.
they're so good to just trim up those stitches.
And I know some of these things we show a number of times, but you start to do a project and you have a dull pair, you'll be looking quickly for a new one.
Well, I didn't take my rulers with me to Quilt Week, so I had to buy new rulers. I was like, oh my goodness
Lordy,
gracious.
Yeah. Did they give you a list of what to bring, Kathleen?
Yes, they did. And then they said that they supplied some things, but we won't name the vendor, but there were rulers in the classroom that did not have 1/4-inch marks on them, and we had to cut to a 1/4 inch.
Oh, Lordy.
So, yeah, that was a little sad, but it's okay.
And Kathleen has this machine almost at full out stitching. The speed on it.
No, that's only sewing speed.
Threading
You have
speed,
to
yeah.
set your
I checked
machine
it
over
before
there.
we started.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to trim this while I change the thread?
Sure.
Okay.
What do you want trimmed? Do you want just the bezel trimmed out?
No, the bezel was already trimmed.
Trimmed out.
We're going
Oh,
to trim
okay.
the fabric.
Trim the fabric, sure thing.
Mm-hmm. We're getting there, folks. We could have chosen Coast Guard. It has more letters.
Carol Whitmore, and Carol works at the shop. She said, "Oh, I sew slowly. I don't know if I could power sew without making a lot of mistakes."
Okay, here you
Carol,
go.
you're amazing. You
If
can
you
do
wanna
anything.
Trim that up for me. I'm going to change the bobbin.
And I'm trimming right up next to the red stitching. Is that right,
Yeah,
Kathleen?
yeah. Maybe like just a
1/4
tad
inch?
away because we want to give it some space for that tacked on to
Yeah, to hold on.
hold
Okay.
on to. So, even though it says trim closely, I would give yourself like a scant,
1/4 inch. Is that what you think?
not even a 1/4 inch, but a scant little.
Kathleen, a little less.
Oh yeah, way less.
Way less?
Yeah, way
Okay.
less. Yeah, half of
Alrighty.
that. Yeah, yeah, a scant, just so it has something to hold on to. And if you're nervous, you could run half of the satin stitched on and then trim your fabric. Because I know some of us gals with problems with our eyes, we have to be very careful. All right. And now we are going to get ready to tape. We are going to, because there is a tacked on line coming up. Okay, and the tacked on is so that we can put the backing on. At this time, because we're making an ornament, I just took a little piece of blue ribbon, about 6 inches, folded it in half. I'm going to tape that on the back. If you wanted to, you could have added it earlier on the front when you added the bosal, but I like to have things on the back. Just waiting for Deb's bringing that right over.
I am, and Kathleen, I might have given it just a tiny bit
That's
more,
okay.
but
That's
I wanted
all right.
to make sure that it's
That's right.
hot.
So you can see Deb did a nice trim around, and there's some little there is some fabric for it to catch on. Okay. Now we're flipping it over, and we see right between the United States is the center. And we're going to put a piece of Kimberbell tape to tape that ribbon in the middle. All right, that's number one. Number two, we have our personalization. We trimmed away the wash and sew. We had trimmed away the bosal when we sewed it down, and we have the fabric. Now, why am I not trimming the fabric? Well, if we trim the fabric and it doesn't line up perfectly, we're going to have a boobie like this, okay? So we want to line it up and give ourselves some forgiveness. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, okay? We are not trimming it until we get that tacked on stitch done. So we're going to give it a lot of tape. Don't be afraid to over tape here because you do not want that moving around for any reason. And we want to tape down that hoop hook. All right. Now, our machine is giving us another, what I call tacked on line, okay? So, here we go. We have switched to blue. We have put the blue bobbin in. Oh, see, no, it happened again. I'm so silly. That's because I was using those other machines and their threaders were in a different space. All right, here we go. Thread for me. Yes, I call that the happy dance when it threads.
These ornaments end up being 4.5 inches, whether it's the ornament or the coaster. That's the finished size, Betty.
Okay. It's doing a 2-row tacked on, which gives us a nice secure area. All right, I'm going to take it out. And at this time, I'm going to flip it over, and that's when I am going to trim all of that excess fabric off of the back. And you don't have to be...
Do you need help or are you good?
I'm good because I hold it up.
It kind of guides you.
And I kind of guide you. Again, we're using the tack and trim technique.
Watch the ribbon.
I did watch that ribbon. That was good, Tommy. That was good. Tommy pointed that out. I cut the ribbon off on the first boo-boo one, too. Now,
Kathleen and I usually sew at home before this show, and we came in this morning, and we're both working on things. And
we were working side by side. Now,
yes,
if you notice on here, it may not be lined up exactly perfectly, but that's why I did my stitched ons in blue, because it's not going to show up very much, number one. Number two, I just want to tidy it up here. Number two, that's going to be covered by some of our satin stitch, and we want this nice and clean. And if you think that maybe you snipped a thread and it's going to pick up, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to tape that ribbon down, because I do not want that getting caught.
oh, and it will.
And it
It
will.
will.
It will. Notoriously, it will. And I'm going to come over and I'm just going to, we saw that Deb did a nice job of trimming the top, but you can see where that blue is. Not to be afraid. It's going to cover. Yep. I'm going to catch it over there. I'm just rotating. And remember, Ruth Ann taught us, we don't rotate our wrist, we rotate our fabric. It's so funny because being away and seeing other instructors saying, rotate your wrist, I'm thinking, oh my God, no. All right. So I have this nice and tidy. I'm going to put it back in, and I'm looking over here on my screen. I have the beautiful blue satin stitched on. Let's say you didn't want blue. I just thought that blue. I had picked the blue fabric for the back. You could have done the white fabric on the back again. Claudia's directions didn't really direct you on that, but
Your colors are perfect,
yeah.
Kathleen.
Let's say that you're in Cranberry Township and you're making the fire department and you want to put cranberries on the back, whatever. This is a long stitch out on the satin stitch, but it's just a few little minutes. The other thing too, while I was away, I appreciated what I call stadium lighting of my baby lock. Other machines, they're doing add-ons, tack-ons, and they don't have this clarity of it, as well as how we could put tape on this and it just peeled right up. It's a wonderful thing. So maybe your church or social group is doing stockings for soldiers and you want to tuck something in. If you know where they're going, it's always nice. If you're dealing with the veterans hospitals, would be lovely to make up some in all the different armed forces and drop them off at the front desk there. We have so many people that have given to our country and they're alone, and this would just, make them feel a little love.
Holiday boxes.
Holiday boxes, yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'm mesmerized by an embroidery machine.
Mm-hmm.
I can just kind of sit and watch it, kind of relaxing.
That's one thing I did miss about quilting is you're working that machine the whole time.
Yeah,
you know. And when we were at Baby Lock Tech, we were able to meet Gudrun from Iceland,
yes.
who is the woman who developed stripology, and
stripology rollers.
Yes, and stripology rollers, and that's as much quilting as I want to do after last week. So. I did take 2 quilt classes.
I want to see 5 finished products, Kathleen.
Yeah. Well, when we get to adding our favorite things, I did find one thing I have to talk to Gloria about ordering for the store.
What was that?
Pins, the double-headed
The
pins.
pins, yeah, yeah. I know you always pick up something.
Hmm. Well, we had an instructor that handed everybody out 2 of the double-headed pins.
Okay,
And
and you were sold.
yeah, I was sold.
Can you talk about, someone's asking to talk about the other designs that are on here? Could
Oh,
you show
sure.
in front of this
Sure.
camera here?
Sure. Okay. While that's stitching out, the other designs, there are
You need-
9. So you have doctor, nurse, RN as the nurse, firefighter, Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Coast Guard. Now, they made a universal police, but unfortunately in Western Pennsylvania, the badges are not the Texas Star. If you're in a community where your police wear a Texas Star, this could apply to you. But here in Western Pennsylvania, they do more of a traditional badge. So I won't be making the police, but I will be making a number of the firefighters. I mean that, and again, you could just personalize it again with maybe Sergeant Lewis or Captain Smith or Jimmy or whatever. And if you have a favorite doctor or nurse, and this is meant to be a coaster. This is the actual size, is what it says, but
It's 4.5 inches.
it's 4.5
Half
inches. You don't have to personalize the back. That's my value added. But you could use the vinyl. You could use any kind of fabric that you wanted.
But Kathleen, for gifts, I
For
mean, how
gifts?
long is this really taking you?
Exactly. Look at that. And can't you just see the smile on their face when you give them somebody who's retired Navy and it says, and maybe you put the years that they were in the Navy, not the current year.
Mhm.
You know, I could just see my Uncle Joey getting one the years that he was in Nam, because he's past the time where he's angry. He's okay now
Yeah,
with
yeah.
it, you know? So, and it all of them, each of them has this nice stitch out around it, so it gives you a nice finished item. And if you use the wash away, you're just going to take a wet Q-tip and these edges are going to just disappear.
But I know Christmas is always an expensive time. You like
Right.
to have something for everybody.
Right.
If you get the pattern itself, I mean, look at what this is costing you. Relatively nothing.
Right.
You know, 3-4 colors of thread, and
white, and I chose a blue that I had in my stash that I thought looked military blue, but you could put red, you could put red, white, and blue. Maybe you have some of those tossed flags. Remember from 4th of July, we sold a lot of tossed flags fabric.
yeah,
You could put the
that on the
backing
back.
with the tossed flags. Don't even worry about personalizing it, you know.
Yeah.
And you can follow Claudia's directions where she suggests that you pre-cut, or you can follow my tack and trim directions. And remember, you're learning more to get more comfortable with your machine and all of the wonderful features that your machines have for you, because Sewist is just going up from here. The new machine's gonna challenge us even more to do more things. We're almost sewed out. We'll just give it, we're gonna let it finish out. In my screen, it once, remember, I added Harrison and the year at the end of the sew out. So we won't be doing that. So we won't get the happy song, but that's okay.
So how are we doing here?
We're almost there.
Get there, almost.
Yeah, almost there.
Isn't it amazing? I
It is.
love the
It's-
colors.
Yeah, and look at that satin stitch. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful.
Her digitizing is just beyond.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I hear that.
Now, you
That
could
final.
do this ornament in IQ Designer.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
could.
could.
Yes, you could.
If you had a specific fire department. Or,
Yes.
or
If you had a
thing,
specific logo, you could do it in a line art, scan it on your scan board in IQ Designer. You could even pull it over. Use Claudia's circle. Pull your specific Cranberry Township Fire Department over and put that on. You know, you would skip all these steps. Remember how I showed you to use your plus or minus? You could skip all these and you could keep that red because each of them has that beautiful stitch out around them. You could keep this circle if you so choose. And you could, I like to do that. I like to play with other things and put them together and make something new. Just like I'm personalized this.
For me, I would take it into palette 11. I'd break apart the design. I just
Right.
take the border and the tack down stitches and everything.
Yeah, there you go.
So
There you go. Well,
there's so many lessons we could teach.
oh,
doing
yes.
this,
Oh, it's
you know?
amazing.
yes, it is.
It's
It
amazing.
is.
And Christmas coming up, the ornaments.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and we still have more to come today.
Oh yeah, we
so-
have more ornaments to show you. We
Yeah.
just want this to stitch out so we can show you how beautiful the back is.
So it went like 2 times over.
Yeah, it's giving it a really nice heavy.
You saw the heavy like underlace.
Yes, it was a heavy underlay. That's why I was willing to invest the time in this. Oops, we bumped it. And don't you love that if you bump your screen, it stops? It doesn't go back to start, it stops.
And if you turn off your machine,
Yes.
it comes back to where you were the next time you turn it
If
on.
you hit the lock button
Yes,
here, if you bump it, will it stop?
it will. It will.
It still will stop?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I've even tried to go into my pages while it's working. And because sometimes you have to.
Can you change letters, RN, whatever, to PA?
You could,
Out
but
in palette, right,
you
Tommy?
well, you could in palette, or if you could match up your fonts. Like my daughter's a nurse practitioner, so if I give her an RN, she would be upset with me. So I would have to put an NP on there. But you know, you could take that RN off and go into. We have all of those beautiful alphabets that come built into your machines, whether you're on your Destiny, whether you're on your Meridian, whether you're on your Solaris Vision, and just pick 2 letters that you like on that to submit. And you saw how I added Hamilton right on top of the piece. You could move it around. You could use your edit features, add your letter. Let's say we're making it a nurse practitioner. So we're going to add it and put it right where the RN would be. We would put the NP, and then we would skip through those steps. Remember, I showed you to use your forward and back to skip through. This is almost done, Sois. We're going to be there.
So, Louise, the idea of the day to me, what about a school logo?
Sure.
And on the back, you would put this. You could put your school logo in. You could put your school name around it. Put the student's name on the back and the year that they're graduating.
Okay, Tommy, are we on this camera? Okay, lower. Okay, look at how beautiful that turned out for Harrison. We have a beautiful ornament. I'm going to trim. This is just my wash away stabilizer. I'm going to trim that, and then I'm going to get my Q-tip and come back and just clean up. I did not clean up the back of this one with those rough little edges. I'm going to clean them up, and here we have 2 great ornaments, maybe one for Harrison and one for his grandmother. So you can see I just have to trim a couple of my jump seams, my jump stitches, but it turned out beautifully, and it was easy to make. I didn't get injured, you know, and like I said, if you don't want to personalize the back, you don't have to. The directions do not call for personalization. It's my value-added lesson to you. All right, we're going to go over to the table, and we're going to talk about some other stuff. Is that okay, Tommy?
Yeah.
So one more time, it's MD, RN, firefighter, Air Force, Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Coast Guard, and the bottom one actually says sheriff. This one right
no,
here.
it says police. It
Does
says
it?
police.
Oh, then there's sheriff and police.
Yeah, they're sheriff and
And
police.
police, sorry.
Yeah, but you know, remember what's our motto here on Sip and Sew? You do you.
do,
So
yeah.
you can make it any way you want. You know, we made it personalized, and that gives you the option. And I'm just going to rough trim this because I'm going to get out. I don't want to cut that. I don't want to cut that ribbon off. All right, let's move on to.
And the one other thing is Kimberbell does have some pre-cuts that are wash away. And this would go in your 5x7 hoop, your 6x6 hoop, 8x8 hoop. Yeah, 8x8. So,
And somebody asked, could you use the smaller hoop? No, the 4x4, it did not fit in that. It wanted this size hoop, and this was the smallest that we could
have
fit it
right.
in. Yeah.
And just to finish up on, Kathleen, what we were talking about, Tommy, we have the patchwork scissors. You just need good tools. If they're dull, it just gets a little frustrating.
And as you all know, I'm left-handed, so
Yeah.
I like scissors that are. Is one set that we're gonna.
Yeah.
Tommy's, we're gonna order for you if you want them in left-handed. So we'll.
So Tommy, if you
note
give
that.
me an okay when you're ready for the
So
scissors.
I don't have the scissors. Those are the only thing I don't have in.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you show the Kimberbell wash away?
The Kimberbell wash away is right here.
And are there rolls of it too?
There sure are.
Yes, we have the small or the large. So you have lots of options, and when you're hooping, okay, everybody has different techniques. Some people like to use this size with this small hoop, okay. I find if I buy this size, I use it up and then I'm mad because I don't have any in my house. So I buy the larger rolls and I cut 2 frames at a time when I'm doing the smaller one. So you can see I just cut a strip this wide and then I cut it down the middle so that I get 2 frames out of that. Okay.
And if you don't care how much stabilizer you're using, and maybe some people don't, if your hoop's in the machine and you have a piece of stabilizer in, then you just let this roll right behind off the back of the shelf of your machine. When you start another one, just keep pulling it up.
Right, because look at this piece that I have as waste. It could just keep. It would just stay there. Yeah.
Keep pulling it through.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You go ahead and show those scissors again.
all right, patchwork scissors. Gloria's favorite, the purple scissors. They always are mentioning the purple scissors. And Kathleen, what's the left-handed pair? Kathleen's left-handed. I am not.
The left-handed pair. Which ones were that we have the
Was
left-handed?
it the duckbill?
The duckbill.
Is it the purple
Yeah.
duckbill, Tommy, or is it the
The
silver?
4.5-inch duckbill.
By which
Company.
Gypsy or Famore?
These are Famore.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for Maury.
Mhm.
Okay, so here we have the duckbill scissors, and we are able to get these in left-handed. So these are not left-handed that we're showing you, but how do they order the left-handed ones, Tommy?
Go ahead and put them in your cart. You could either waitlist, authorize, or just add them to your cart. We don't currently have them in stock, but we are able to get them.
So if you wait list, authorize them, or put them in your cart, we will be ordering them from the manufacturer to come in so that we have them, because we don't like to have a lot of things sitting around that we don't sell.
Would you put in notes,
And we don't want
Tommy?
them
Just
confused.
maybe in the notes put left-handed.
Yeah.
Yes, in the
it's-
notes you would have to put left-handed only.
So we have a separate product of the left-handed scissors.
Okay,
Oh,
we have a
okay.
separate product in there. Okay.
So
Okay.
112, if you're interested in left-hand applique scissors, go ahead and put those in your cart.
And
Okay.
you know what? If you're left-handed, how many of you have those dimples from using right-handed scissors? You know, it's wonderful when we can get a left-handed product in for us. So think about
Okay,
that.
I haven't seen these before, and they look kind of cool. These are the duckbill, which I like duckbill. There's a certain use for duckbill, and there's certain use for snips. So I always keep
Well, you
both.
could have used the duckbill to trim,
You
to
sure
trim that
could've.
whenever we were trimming around. That
And
would
that
have been
really
a good
does
one.
help.
Mhm.
But I mean, these honestly, they look delicate. So they look like
They
they could
do.
get into spaces
Mhm.
that they're
Tiny
just a tiny
spaces.
bit smaller than the Fomori. Fomori has its use too. We're never, I mean, that's why there's so many tools. You have to know what your use is. But to keep going on the ornaments. So Love to Stitch had brought in the ornament collection. And can we pull that up, Tommy? And it had letters where you can make hangings. Joy, Mary, Noel. We like the dog. Put a jingle bell on it. Harry was our family dog when my daughters were all growing up. I just grabbed the Kimberbell Brown to make it look like a dog. I just, I mean, we have the alphabets, just millions of alphabets. All I did was shrink it down to 3/4 of an inch, and it just fit right in there. And I mean, it was so fun. It was last week. You were away.
Mhm.
I have a shirt. It's a blue one, and it has dogs on it.
Mhm.
I can't go anywhere. And there was somebody at Gloria that came up to me. Now, what's your dog? What's your dog's name? I mean, people just do love a dog. What I did like, though, was the jingle bell, because you're always putting a pretty collar on the dog at Christmas time with a nice bow. So that being said, we did pick up a couple of items from the Love to Stitch. This is the jingle bells, but also it's all of the hooks and the hoops. And I didn't really, Tommy, I don't remember the price, whether it was 19 or 29. I just thought it's a lifetime supply of all of that, but you need to go and find one connector or one hook. I mean, it's
$19.95 for that set of.
And it has the multiple sizes of jump rings, the D
D-rings.
rings,
it's got the jingle bells right
pulls,
with
and
it.
the jingle bells. And you know, if you wait until Halloween to purchase your items to make for Christmas, they're going to be gone. So if you're thinking of making some things for Christmas, this is a great kit with the jingle bells. You could add like maybe you don't want to do ribbon. Maybe you want to do a jump ring with you could do the what I call lobster clasp. You could put the lobster clasp on there with a jingle bell. So it's what you're going to hang them on. If you're going to maybe put this on a package, and you know all the young girls are hooking them right on their purse, and so there's all kinds of uses. So there's a lot of uses for these lobster clasps and the various size jump rings. It's a good idea.
The Tommy's putting in one more. It was the check balls from the show, and again, the check balls they just checker balls. Yes, they just look like a dog to me. I mean, and it's a good size pack. I think they were actually from the mug. The mug, there was.
I don't know. They put them on so many different things. You know, they were just decorating everything. Everything was decorated.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was just gorgeous.
Good. Yeah.
But it just seemed like another item that, I don't know, was kind of dog looking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the one tool that I did use is you need to thread this, as opposed to sewing and connecting your hanging loop on it. This one just had a little circle in it, and I went across that circle 3 different times.
On purpose or through the?
Just it only had a single stitch down, and I thought I'm not trusting that.
So you reinforced it.
I did it 3 times.
So she used that plus or minus feature again. Went back and redid it.
But look at the. I mean,
that's not going to rip, which is important. Yeah.
But this tool, all you do is you just push it down, and this one has the small end, the 2 millimeter on it, but it comes with a 2, a 3, and a 4 millimeter, and basically it's just a hole punch.
Okay, so it's like an auger.
Yeah.
And so if you're making any of Tiffany's bags, or you're making lots of ornaments from the Love to Sew pattern, they all have that little
The little hole.
hole
And,
on it.
I mean,
yeah.
I initially was thinking to use one of the stilettos, and some of us are a little dangerous.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. We don't want any cuts. Yeah.
But this,
Yeah.
you just hit it a couple of times. Actually, John did it for me.
Oh.
I went down to order shipping, and I said, okay, guys, I know you have to have something here. And Ryan and John both said, this is your tool. So it's called the Perfect Punch by OESD.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then, as you can see on this Love to Stitch pattern, they used the same template that Deb used. She used the dog. They used each of the letters, and they made peace, joy. What's this one?
Peace. There's
joy.
peace again.
Oh, 2 pieces. Okay. And then they had some that say Mary, Noel, and the dog, and joy.
The digitizing's right in there.
Yeah, the digitizing is included right in there. And let's say you have multiple dogs, or maybe you want to remember all of your dogs. Again, you could use the technique that I just taught you. You could put the year that your dog was with you on the back, or if you had like Tiffany, we won't say, but Tiffany here, her dog's name is Cheesy, but his real name is like Sir Pop and Cheese It or something like that. Like he has an official name. So you could put Sir Pop and Cheese It on the back and Cheesy on the front.
We were just having fun with it today.
Yeah.
And again, I love to stitch. Their sewing is just, they're digitizing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we thought, hey, we're talking ornaments.
Oh,
How about gold for all of your military ornaments?
Yeah, you could do that.
That's a bold. God bless you if you sew this many ornaments.
Hey, you're doing that entire fire department.
Yeah.
You might need that. Yeah.
But it'd be nice bows. It's nice ribbon. It's double backed satin, and I don't know where you can find double back satin, but here at Gloria's, everything's single backed.
It's hard to find good ribbons. Yeah.
And Tommy, don't let me go too fast. We're just going through the ribbons right now. This is
I'm looking for the gold one.
Okay.
I'm not seeing a gold one.
Oh, Tommy's waiting to pull up the gold. Okay. And then we have the other Loves to Stitch over there.
Yeah, we'll do that as well. Gloria asked that we revisit that today.
If we have the gold in our system,
we can put it in afterwards. Is that okay, Tommy?
Yeah, we could put it in afterwards.
Okay.
And post the product selection.
Okay.
Today, I'm not seeing the gold ribbon unless you could think of it being another name.
I would. How about the red ribbon? Does that pull up? That
Yeah.
might give us a
Yep,
clue.
the red
Okay,
ribbon.
this is 1/4 inch red grosgrain, and it's a nice weight of grosgrain.
We sure it's not 3/8 inch?
It's 3/8 inch. You're right.
3/8 inch.
3/8 inch.
Okay.
And then we have 5/8, which is extra nice because it's got the black stitching on the outside.
Oh,
That's
nice. Yeah.
That's nice ribbon.
Oh, by the way, I did check, and it does have sheriff and police, but they're both on the star badge
Okay.
in Claudia's.
Well, I saw somebody make a note that just like Disney, things are licensed.
Right.
So Claudia would have had to go out and create what she felt was close to it.
Yeah.
All right, here's Tommy. This is 3/8 black and red checked.
Black and red check.
Yeah. Is that what you call that? That's satin.
Black and red gingham.
Gingham.
They're calling it gingham.
Okay, good enough. We'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. And then this would be the gold plaid.
Oh, that's pretty.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going home. What do you think? Yeah. And then the last one we have is the same red with the black stitching around it. And that would be the 3/8 also. And somebody put these in. It was the precision tweezers. Was somebody?
Tweezers. I just thought tweezers.
You could always use them to help pick up your jump threads. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And Kathleen, we wanted the Kimberbell tape for
Oh,
you.
yes, Kimberbell tape.
Okay. Okay. I know we moved along.
Kimberbell tape, got that in.
Tom-
129.
Tell me, what are these
These
lemon lavender center stage spot
are the
tweezers?
spotlight tweezers, and they have a light on
Oh,
the
light.
side.
Oh,
Oh,
well, that's
my
cool.
goodness.
I don't know if there's a battery. There should be a battery already included in it.
I don't want to rip the box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
We'll take their word.
Yeah, we'll just take it.
We'll take Tommy's word for it. He won't lead us astray.
Yeah, I'm putting it down so you can zoom in. There you go.
Okay. And then Gloria asked us to revisit the Claudia table toppers one more time. She showed them on a Thursday. We showed them Tuesday 2 weeks ago. And
Oh my goodness! I saw this fabric in white, and it just does not pop. This fabric pops so good in the. Why don't we talk about them one at a time?
okay, well, let's start with the fall. And the reason I'm starting there is Carol Whitmore did this one. I did this one. I left it open so that I could see where I came from. Number one, the digitizing is just wonderful. But it kind of was interesting. She uses Terrio Magic, which we all know is a wonderful product. Now, Tommy, here's the Terrio Magic. But the one thing with Terrio Magic is, if this is my opinion, it's just opinions, that's what we offer here. When you use this, it kind of, and that was very not real good, but this buddy sprays. It's like a
so
mister.
what you're saying is the Mister
Mister
bottle is
is-
important
I think it is. You end up doing half Terrio Magic,
and half water.
and
And you
then,
want to dilute your Terrio Magic, or else you're going to have oak tag cardboard.
well, and it water spots. Now
True.
let's be honest. You water spot something, you wash it eventually. But I don't know, something like this or the Christmas one on the center of your table. You may not be washing that for a year or two. So why not keep it fresh? You can always go back to your Terrio Magic and crisp it up.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't know, and I'm just pointing this out, and Kathleen, I didn't even have a chance to talk to you. She used the Terrio Magic here. She used the Terrio Magic on the Ruby Star. She used the Terrio Magic on the centerpiece. But when she called for these little inset borders, she just said to use magic sizing, which again is a heavy starch. But I thought that was kind of interesting, why you would change product. I would think that the Terrio Magic is a little bit stiffer and would give you a little.
Well, she wants to get those folds. That's why she didn't want it to be like cardboard. Yeah.
Terrio Magic, what I would have done is I would have given it a press, and then I would have misted it, and so anyhow, whatever, hey, we like to tweak up your brain just a little bit.
This is the backing fabric for this kit.
And the kits, this fabric came in today.
Yes,
they
so
will
they're
go
cutting,
out.
yes.
They've been cut, but we had to
Yes.
wait for this fabric. They will go out tonight.
Right. And this is your
That's the
center
center.
fabric is so beautiful.
The Ruby Star was just amazing because when you look at the Ruby Star, I mean, it's got gold in it.
Is that the brand?
Ruby Star is a brand of a fabric line, but it's got a little bit of cranberry. It's got a little bit of a lavender. I mean, it's just fun. The one thing that we had talked about when we demoed them or talked about them the first time, I tend to follow her pattern because I want you to see what Claudia is suggesting. So she had picked a yellow orange and a rusty orange, and this was a gold. And when I just did the bottom stitching and the brown, it was, I thought, now is this really going to pull together? She used a charcoal around the outside, and I mean, just don't question the woman's ideas. I mean, they're just phenomenal. That's not saying you can't come up with your own. It's just we're trying to give you what she's showing. This is shimmer. This is honey shimmer, and that's what was the outside border.
So just wanted to check.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful border. Mhm.
So this is the other kit, and then we'll show you the kit that Carol did.
It's right here.
Okay.
Okay.
She was there one day, and I said, "Oh boy, I'm going to stitch these on." And she said, "Well, I'll do one." Well, she said Carol fell in love instantly with the snow globes, but at the same time, we both said, "Well, there were 4 kits. We'll each do 2." Well, they take a little more time than that, and but I think the colors. Do we have the kit here, Kathleen?
Yeah, the kit's right here.
The
The
snow
kit's
globe,
right
right?
here.
Snow
right here.
globe. This
It's right
is
here.
snow globe.
Oh,
Okay.
What is this kit called?
Snow globe. And of course, the snow globes
those
is
are
the
extra
center.
cuts.
The snow globe's in the middle. And you can see, here's Carol's extra. You can feel that Terrio magic there. It's nice and tight. What was nice is the centerpiece was big enough to give us some real good snow globes. And we gave you enough that you should be able to pick a snow globe that was your favorite. And then we just,
So you'll be able to fussy cut it then.
yeah, a little bit,
Mhm.
yeah. And then we used a
Shimmer?
gold with,
Mhm.
well, it's actually a gold with a leaf. It was a poinsettia,
Oh.
but it just sparkled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We used shimmer,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I think it was called pine shimmer for the outside. Tommy, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but Carol did use gold,
Gold metallic.
the gold metallic for the
The
outside.
King Star.
The King Star, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just out of this world. So, and we did do one other kit. And I'm just going to use Carol since it's right here to give you an idea where the fabrics go.
Here, I'll take that.
Thank you.
I put it back over there.
Here you go, one more
Mhm.
piece. This one's called Winter Holiday. That's what we're calling it. So when I read these around the outside, oh, the Winter Holiday one, I'm sorry. When I read the outside, the words were more mittens and snow-related things.
And you could use that into February or
Yeah,
March.
oh, yeah.
We hope not March, but
Yeah.
you could use it into March.
But what I just fell in love with is this is your little tiny bit of
So your
sashing.
center block is snowmen that you could fussy cut.
And then out on these are snowflakes that go out on the outside.
For your corners.
Mm-hmm.
And what goes on top of them? What is the embroidery on top of them? Snowflakes? I
No, it
believe-
would be the snow globes again.
No, it's not. It's snowflakes. It's snowflakes.
Oh, I'm sorry, snowflakes.
Yeah.
Snowflakes. And then around the outside is the denim, which again, when you look at these fabrics all together, and the back, of course, is winter trees.
And so the border words are things to do with like being
Yeah.
chilly
Yes.
and cold. And this is
I-
the backing is snow-covered trees. So you have a nice backing fabric. I'll move it up here, Tommy. So your backing is some trees. Okay, and you have your fussy cut snowmen. You have the little accent stripe is this. Oh, by the way, I got to get some more of this. This is
I know, it is
beautiful. Yeah,
gorgeous.
and it's cut on the.
Oh, and
it's printed on the bias. So
and with the brush denim,
yeah,
look at that.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, color-wise, I think it's just my
trying to
favorite.
Cover that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah, and that's a beautiful backing. That'll get you all the way to March, getting time for St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
And Tommy, I don't know if you can find, there is a Halloween one that's done. We are almost out of the fabric, so there are a couple left. I checked with Gloria. She said maybe don't show it. because
Okay, then we
don't-
won't.
We,
So we'll stay
but-
with
but
we'll
we
stay
do
with
wanna
autumn.
No, where she said to go ahead and mention it and pull up the kit.
Oh, I thought you said don't show it.
She
You told
don't
me-
show it as a.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What is that kit called?
It would be a Halloween topper. Look under Claudia.
Okay, so there's a Thanksgiving and fall into Halloween.
Yes,
Fall into
it's
Halloween.
fall into
Did you show
Halloween.
The Thanksgiving one.
The
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
showed
was
Thanksgiving.
the first one that
Yeah.
we did.
It was
Mhm.
in this.
Okay.
But again, that Thanksgiving, you could pull that out now and use that September, October, and November.
Yeah. And we have one more crazy, crazy fun idea. Tommy, how about you showing this because it's your idea?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a.
I'm going to
a
turn it
Claudia-
upside down so he can.
Well, let's
Surprise you.
I didn't give to put these in the bubble yet, but Claudia's Thanksgiving topper is sold 137, and the fall into Halloween is sold 138.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
Okay, Tommy's coming around to the front
This
of the
is
camera.
so fun.
Yes, show
And
us.
This is what we do, and it just goes all day long.
hello everyone. So we were playing around with the fabric printer. We got from Brother, and if you're interested in buying that, please call 412-344-2330 and extension 2 to talk to Steve.
And that's the one that we'll be using at the fall event.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're thinking of different projects to do, and they were working on ornaments today. And I said, hey, let's do something where we print out that 4.5 circle. I blew it up here, and here is my newly born daughter, Mary May. We call her Mimi, and this is just a blown up version, and this is on a piece of paper since we ran out of the pre-treated rolls that Brother sells.
But we'll be getting them in shortly.
Yeah, so you could print this right on the fabric, cut it out. You have your cutting lines right here where you have to cut it out, and you'll use that whenever you're doing your ornaments. And
Right.
also a fun thing, this is a seamless pattern I made, and if you bought the Star of Wonder pre-order, you get the exact fancy fill that goes along.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is this. Can you believe what he did?
Wow.
So
Very
I'm
fun.
working on
So
more
we
of
could
those.
put this on the back. Think of this on the ornament. On the ornament, okay? You put the baby's picture on the front. Put the baby's picture on the front with how he has that beautiful fabric there, and then the sew out of the fabric on the back. That on the back of the ornament. That would be really cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was just spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I mean,
love
yeah,
it.
he came
Yeah.
up to the store and it was like just
So,
excited. Nice.
Unfortunately, we were out of that pre-treated fabric rolls.
But it's
So
on order.
to
It'll
use,
be coming
so you
soon.
can't use your own fabric when using that printer.
Right.
Brother has these special treated rolls
Mhm,
that it's perfect for printing.
mhm.
It has a clear sheet on the back. Here, let's show.
Oh
an
yeah, let's
example.
get the baby picture.
We'll get the baby.
Yeah, we'll get the baby. But don't you think this is endless? Like using a template like we showed you this morning.
Here's my baby.
And you could take it, look at that. And now he's going to make a pillow.
And as you can see, it is actually perfectly
And
printed.
it feels great. The hand to this fabric is lovely.
And on the back, you can see there's kind of a clear sheen there.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure what it does, but
It might come
probably
off.
helps it print it.
yeah.
You know,
probably.
Kathleen, it feels like the fabric for the ornament that you use. That
Yes,
little tiny bit
it
of a
does.
grunge.
Yeah, it has a little
Just
bit of a grunge to it.
Yeah, a little texture.
But there is no, like, there's no bump on when I'm touching the baby compared to the edge, and there's no on the coloring or on her folds or anything. It's just beautiful.
So when you look
So
at her,
exciting.
he can't complain that he was up all night with her,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, she's just too cute.
I think we got to make her into a pillow.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what Steve
Yes.
is planning on doing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The applications from the fabric printer and the scan and cut. So we could
Right.
take this image right here and we could have our scan and cut it out exactly.
Exactly. Ooh.
So
Yeah.
we're new to this and we're working on everything and we're
Yeah.
trying to come up with new ideas
Yeah.
and we're making the mistakes for you guys.
Right. Right.
So
So, and we are looking forward to October everybody has this level of excitement
Yes.
every day.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's just
I
bouncing
don't
one
know
idea
if
after
spots
another.
are all filled up, but
I think in the later sessions,
November, I think, is
that
open
later
yet.
sessions have some spots
Yes.
open, and too, things come up. Some people may be canceling at the last minute, but we hope to see you there.
Where's my
And-
jingle bells?
I heard him.
There he is, right down there.
Yeah.
You could put this on the dog's collar.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Jingle around.
There you go. But I really like this with the bosal versus the fusible fleece or any kind of fleece. I just think it gives it more of a professional finished look. So,
But thank you for the demo.
yeah. Well,
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed being with us today, and we're happy to see you. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks. So that's Sip and Sew.
I'm going to be away.
You'll be away, but I'll have some surprises for you.
And I think Gloria's joining you.
Yes.
Yes.
Gloria said she would be joining me in 2 weeks, so I'm
Yes.
excited. Yes.
So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All
Well,
right.
thank you for everything.
Okay. Bye
Bye-bye.
now.